Hello everyone, I'm Jared Malden with your Observer video for Monday. Last Tuesday I went to different areas of Palm Coast and asked people what it means to be an American. As expected, the opinions were honest and emotional. By far, the best part of my job is just talking to people of Flagler County and hearing the various opinions and beliefs. Dr. Herman Price's story is one that particularly moved me. Since I couldn't use the whole story in my video last week, here is what it means to be an American to Dr. Price. Thanks for watching.
The main experience that I had was in the military, starting in ROTC. And the ROTC staff tried to encourage all of us to consider a military career. And they talked about how important that was because there were many people who died in order to try to get the right to die for America, going back to the Civil War and going back to the Buffalo Soldiers. After 3 years when I submitted my resignation, this was in 1962, actually just before Vietnam. So I decided to stay in after my boss sent me down to the Surgeon General's office to find out about a program he'd heard about where you could stay in the Army, go to medical school, and you would continue with your rank and continue on active duty. So I did. And my assignment at that time was Walter Reed Army Medical Center. At that time, Walter Reed Army General Hospital. And as a medical student, I spent the summers up there and then did all of my residency training after medical school, and this was right in the middle of Vietnam. As a resident, my duty was to help take care of the patients. All of the patients coming back from Vietnam were air evac'd, usually overnight with only one stop. That's a fuel stop in Alaska, and they would always arrive at Andrews Air Force Base about 2 o'clock in the morning. Anyhow, during that time, I began to see what I think was what it's like to be an American in those soldiers. So that was, I think, an eye-opening experience. Went back to Walter Reed for my last assignment. That was Iraq and Afghanistan. And the same thing happened, but by that time, eventually I had retired. And I used to go back for my medical care there. And again, the attitude of those young men and women was what taught me what it's like to be an American. I think finally, everybody doesn't have to go in the military to be a good American. But I think every citizen needs to support what we do, to support not only military people, but there are poor people in our country who need assistance and help, can't help themselves. And it's up to all of us to make sure that every citizen has the right to live as an American. And I think that's probably the bottom line.